guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm going to talk about The Meg. So The Meg, I had an advanced screening to it and I kind of expected it to be a really cheesy, really over-the-top, sci-fi quality film, and it pretty much is that. Now I have to say, it should have been a little more ridiculous. I mean, the story on its face is just this research team that's in this revamped oil rig that's this underwater biosphere lab, and they end up going down to the bottom of the Marianas Trench because they're trying to get beneath there to discover what's under there, and they end up releasing the megalodon, and the story's basically about them trying to stop the megalodon from killing everybody. And that story sounds super ridiculous, but the movie at times gets a little bogged down in trying to create these relationships and make these characters a little more interesting when they're very bland, other than Jason Statham's character, who has a little bit of a kind of story interesting thing about him, and the character played by Ping Ping Lee, she was fine. Overall, the characters were pretty disposable, and they were pretty just generic. I also didn't like that they tried to force in kind of a love interest in the movie. That felt kind of forced in. A lot of these things feel forced in this movie. The movie itself it should be crazy. It should be ridiculous. It should be like Mega Piranha or something crazy like that. It's super entertaining, like a high-budget sci-fi movie. And it takes itself just a little too seriously at times. And the characters are really dumb, like really, really dumb. Like, these characters are supposed to be these great scientists and engineers and computer people, and they just do dumb things. They do things where, as the audience, you're watching it, you're like, why would I think that this plan is going to work? How is this going to turn out well? Why aren't you doing this when you're doing this? It was frustrating at times, because while the movie is over the top and ridiculous and about a megalodon shark, I mean, you have to have some semblance of logic. Now, the shark itself, it looks fine. It's not the worst CGI in the world. It's not great. It's not amazing. It's not top tier. It's better than the Sci-Fi Channel. I mean, there were moments where there were a lot of green screen and craziness going on in the movie where it looks very, very artificial, and those take you out of the movie, obviously. You can't be afraid of something that doesn't look real, and I think that's where these movies always seem to fall apart. They keep making these shark movies, and I think everyone wants to recapture what Jaws was, that horrifying experience of being underwater and this predator chasing you down, but when the predator is a full CGI shark that doesn't look believable at all, it's not scary. I mean, for the most part, this movie tries to do your typical jump scares with the shark like you've seen in every other shark movie since Jaws. It doesn't capture that magic, and it doesn't go full ridiculous enough to be super entertaining. The movie itself is also almost 2 hours long, and it's just a little longer than it should be for a movie like this. I think something that's this crazy and ridiculous should be about 20 minutes shorter than that, and it should just commit to that crazy, over-the-top craziness of the movie. Yeah, there were certain moments in the film, especially with Jason Statham's character, that kind of reached that pinnacle of insaneness, and I liked that. I liked the crazy action and the ridiculous explosions and just the craziness of the movie, and I don't know. They should have just committed to that. They shouldn't have tried to take itself seriously, because it's a megalodon movie. It's about a 100-foot shark. I mean, why would I take that seriously? So at the end of the day, I'll give this movie a 4.5. It isn't offensively bad, but it's just not good. I mean, it could have been more entertaining. I expected it to be not a high-quality film with amazing acting and amazing story and character development, but I mean, if you're going to go the route of being a ridiculous sci-fi movie, just do that. Don't try to make your characters something they're not. They're not that interesting, so don't try and make them interesting if you don't have that story arc. I mean, Jaws worked because it had those very interesting characters and a very interesting story and a grounded, kind of visceral feeling to the movie, when this movie doesn't have that, and it never was going to have that, because it's ridiculous. The whole concept is ridiculous. Embrace the insanity. They should have done that. They didn't quite do it for me, at least. Alright guys, remember to like and subscribe, and when you see The Meg, let me know what you think. Maybe you thought it was really enjoyable, like a fun summer shark movie, or maybe like me, you just thought it was a little flat and a little stupid, but not stupid enough to be super entertaining like something you would see on the Sci-Fi Channel at 12 o'clock on a Saturday. Alright, again, thanks for watching, and see you next time.